everyone, it's Cristina Ingram here with Keller Realty Las Vegas, and I want to welcome you to the ultimate guide of living in Las Vegas. Whether you're drawn by the dazzling lights of the Las Vegas Strip or the serene landscapes of the surrounding desert, Vegas has a lot more to offer than what meets the eye. If you're considering a move to this vibrant city and considering purchasing real estate, then you've come to the right place. So now before we get started on this video today, just want to let you know that each week we're going to be dropping videos about the real estate market in Las Vegas. So if you're looking about relocating or if you're looking into purchasing or selling your home, I'm your girl. So please hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell. Now, let's get back to the video. In this comprehensive guide, we'll dive deep into what makes Las Vegas such a unique place to live. From the luxurious suburbs of Summerlin and the Henderson city to hidden gems scattered throughout the valley. We'll explore the best neighborhoods that cater to different lifestyles and budgets. Whether you're looking for a family-friendly community, a young professional seeking dynamic living, or retiring to enjoy your golden years, Las Vegas offers diverse options that meet your different styles. Plus, we'll talk about the climate, the outdoor activities, and the ever-famous Las Vegas Strip. So if you're ready to start your adventure in one of the most exciting cities in this world, keep watching. Let's discover why Las Vegas is not only a great place to visit, but also a great place to live. The Las Vegas metropolitan area is actually made up of Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. So those three areas, and you have about 2.8 million people living here in a state that only has about 3.1 million people living here. So the majority of the population is right here in the Las Vegas metropolitan area. And we are still considered one of the top 15 growing cities in the entire United States. Just giving you a brief history on Las Vegas, and then we'll get to present day and all the different neighborhoods here. But Las Vegas was incorporated as a city back in 1911. 1905 is when the railroad was built and the town became ever growing. In the 1930s, they started work on Hoover Dam out in Boulder City, and that led to huge growth during the Depression as well. You had a lot of single men who were working on that at the time. And since alcohol and gambling wasn't legal in Boulder City, they would come down to Vegas when they were done with work to get away. That is the birth of how we started to become the adult entertainment of the world. It was a place where you can unwind, relax, gamble, do things that you generally wouldn't do in a normal city back in the early 1900s. During the time from 1931 to about 1935, the town grew from about 5,000 to 25,000 in that short time. The majority of the population was single men. Unfortunately, that's how we became brothels, gambling, and drinking. Shortly after the completion of the railroad, you had the mafia step in. And the mafia gave us a different type of life and growth. And it was like the golden era of Las Vegas, where the hotels started to being built. It's when the strip started to being built, because before it was just downtown, which a lot of visitors and locals were referred to as Old Las Vegas. And as these hotels were being built in the 1930s, and 40s, it started to bring other things other than just gambling, drinking, and brothels. We started to attract entertainers such as Frank Sinatra, Liberace, and Sammy Davis Jr. And then in about mid-40s, a mobster by the name of Bugsy Siegel, he was the mastermind behind building the Flamingo Hotel, which is still around today. The 60s to the 80s started the modernization of Las Vegas, where you had big names entertaining such as Elvis Presley, the Beatles, putting Vegas more and more on the map. During the 80s, the time that I grew up here, and the 90s is basically when they really started to form what we see on the Strip today. So a lot of the initial hotels that were standing in the 80s were all imploded by late 80s, early 90s, and built into something bigger and better. And as you know, in the 2000s, they just keep building, and even now they just keep building. And we have now attracted sports entertainment. We have the NFL, the NHL, the WNBA here, the MLB, and rumored to have the NBA soon. So Vegas keeps growing as a whole and diversifying. So that really leads into our next topic of the type of jobs that are out here. Of course, hospitality is our major industry, and most likely always will be, because this is what Vegas is known for. We have about 42 million visitors that visit the Las Vegas area every year, Las Vegas Strip mainly. And so this is always going to be a major impact on our economy here in Las Vegas. But like I said, with the attraction of more and more sports entertainment, you're getting different types of industries coming here. UNLV has its own school of medicine now, and probably about maybe 10, 15 years ago, they started a law school there as well. Because before these two things, if you wanted to be this profession, you had to go outside and then move back to be a doctor or whatever here. But now they're offering their own medical school, but the main focus is still on hospitality. We're going to get a different type of entertainment here as well. With the partnership of Sony Studios and Howard Hughes Group, which is Summerlin, Mark Wahlberg being their advisor, they're going to be building a huge movie studio and attracting more Hollywood type jobs as well. So Las Vegas is growing and expanding in the different types of job industries. So now where you know what type of jobs we have, where are you going to live? So Henderson is another city within the Las Vegas metropolitan area. Like I said at the beginning, those are made up of a few different areas put together. So you've got Henderson, you've got Las Vegas, North Las Vegas. On the outskirts, we do have Boulder City. We'll touch a little bit on them as well. So Henderson is a little bit smaller than the Las Vegas, but most people coming to town, they just think it's just part of Las Vegas because they're all right next to one another. So Henderson has great parks, walking trails, and like I said, they have several master plan communities such as Green Valley Ranch, Green Valley, Seven Hills, Anthem Country Club, Sun City Anthem, and Inspirata. These are mega master plans that are all within the Henderson city, and the median price for a single family home in the Henderson city is about $515,000. When you go to Las Vegas as a whole is going to be about $469,000 for single family residents in the Las Vegas area. Now, Las Vegas has several different communities as well, such as Summerlin. We'll touch on a little more on Summerlin because Summerlin is the largest master plan community in the Las Vegas metropolitan area. And a lot of people think Summerlin is its own city, which it is not. It's just a ginormous master plan community that has a lot of parks, walking trails. Right now, it has about 18 villages, and they're building more. They're building Ascension right now, which is going to have more luxury homes built by Toll Brothers and Pulte. That's nestled in the West End area of town, up by the Red Rock National Conservation Area is where the majority of it lies, and it spreads out around there. And the median sales price for a single family home in Summerlin is about $712,000. So if we broke down all the different master plan communities in Henderson as well, it's why their median price for their home is a lot higher than what you find in the Las Vegas city. Now, Summerlin is huge, but Las Vegas, like I said, is a lot bigger than Henderson. Most of the areas actually balance it out. So there are several areas that you can find into that might fit your income better if $712,000 scares you a little bit. Now, Henderson as a city has a lot more parks than the Las Vegas area. They voted on that as a city to have the parks there. They have a lot more walking trails. They are closer to the Lake Mead area, so if you're more of a lake person, again, Henderson area might be the best fit for you. Summerlin, that area is nestled closely to Red Rock, and if you like that type of scenery, that type of outdoor hiking, that might be the option for you if you're into that stuff. As well as Mount Charleston is more easily accessible from the Summerlin area than it is from Henderson, and vice versa with the Lake Mead National Recreation Area as well. Henderson does have the practice facilities for the Las Vegas Raiders, and Summerlin has the practice facilities for the Golden Knights that are here in town, and also is where the new Sony Studios will be located. Now, North Las Vegas, which obviously is in the north area. And that area, that median home price for that area is about $415,000. They just opened up a new state park called the Ice Age Fossils State Park. And there you will see fossils from Columbian mammoth, American lions, camels, dire wolves, and ground sloths. All used to be part of this landscape, and those fossils were found out in that general area over there. That's why the State Fossil Park is located there. Now, if you don't like the glitz and gambling that is spread out through Las Vegas and Henderson, then Boulder City might be the spot for you. It is the one of 2 cities in Nevada that actually doesn't allow gambling, which Nevada is pretty much known for the state of doing everything opposite of what all the other states do. We have gambling here, and believe it or not, there are some counties here that legalize prostitution still. That's definitely not something that's approved in Boulder City. That is a very small town, very quiet small town vibe, and that is literally located right next to Lake Mead. And because Lake Mead is a national park, you can't actually have own land on that park. The median price in Boulder City is about $485,000. A little more affordable than Henderson. So if you're wanting to look on where is the best place for you, I can help you with that. Now, weather and climate. I have lived in Vegas since I was a little girl, 5 years old. Grew up here, and one thing I have never gotten used to is the heat. Know how to deal with it though. You just don't really go outside in the middle of the day during the months of July and August. You spend those times indoor in AC. Make sure you're well hydrated, because if you're not used to 110 plus, you're never going to get used to that. Some people love it, but it's only for about 2.5 to 3 months out of the year that it's like that. And the rest of the time, the weather is wonderful. So from about, I would say, October to mid-December, you're going to get great weather. Probably some of the best outdoor weather during that time. The fall weather, you're going to get like high 60s, low 70s during that time. And it's great because most places in November and December are starting to freeze, and we are not. We are still in that nice 60 to 70 degree weather, and you really can't complain because you can still go outside and not freeze to death. January, February to about mid-March, it gets a little cooler. Yes, Vegas does get cold. It just doesn't snow. We don't have blizzards out here. So you're not going to freeze to death out here. We do have occasional snow dustings, especially out in the Summerlin area. You are at the base of the Red Rock Mountains, and the Red Rock is like your precursor to the Mount Charleston. So it's just at a little bit of a lower elevation than Mount Charleston. So it's going to be cooler temperatures the higher the elevation that you go. So the west side of Las Vegas is a little cooler than the rest of the city. So if you're on the Henderson area and then Summerlin area during the summer, it's anywhere from an 8 to 10 degree difference. So you will notice the difference in that as well. But one thing we are throughout the years, we're pretty much a dry climate. We don't get a ton of rain. We do, however, have our monsoon season, which is starting to make a comeback the last couple of years. That's usually the last week of July, first week of August, or the first 2 weeks of August right there. Gives you a nice little break from the heat. So for me, I actually look forward to that time because it gives me a little break from the heat. And also throughout the whole entire season, even in the winter, spring, fall, summer, we are pretty much dry. So you're going to always want to stay hydrated, even in the winter when it's cooler out. Because just because it's cooler doesn't mean that you don't need to drink water. So yes, you need to make sure that you stay hydrated pretty much 24/7 all year long. So the main thing with Vegas you have to remember is the extreme heat in the dead of summer, which is pretty much July, August, maybe a week or two in September, maybe a week or two in June. So that little portion right there is where it gets really unbearable to stay outside for long periods of time. Make sure you don't leave your pets in your car, your kids in your car, because whatever that temperature is outside, it is amplified by that much more inside your car, and where you can actually cook food on the street. And yes, you can fry an egg. I have tried it when I was a kid. You really, really need to make sure that you're protecting your pets' feet as well when you're taking them for walks, and yourself as well. When you're walking outside, you do not want to get scorched by the asphalt out here. It can definitely leave some serious burns. Now, Las Vegas, a lot of people come here because of the Strip. That's the main reason why they're visiting here. But Las Vegas actually has a lot of outdoor activities to come and do. We are actually one of the best cities for outdoor activities because of our mild winters and pretty decent springs and falls, you definitely can spend the majority of your time outdoors. During the summer, if you're going to want to be outdoors, Mount Charleston is the place for you. So if you love the outdoors, Mount Charleston is about 30 to 40 degree difference. So when it's about 110 up down here, it's about 75 to 80 degrees in the Mount Charleston area. So really, really doesn't get to 100. If it does, we must be having a severe heat wave. And Las Vegas is cooking at that point in time. But yes, Mount Charleston is one of the best places to escape the heat in the summer and great place to hike. There's actually, too, in the winter, they have a ski resort in Lee Canyon, which is connected to Mount Charleston. And a lot of people don't know that. We do have Bryan Head, which is a 2.5 to 3 hour drive from Las Vegas. So it's easy to get to that place as well. But we do have our own ski resort. So if you are coming from somewhere, we have skiing and snowboarding available for you up on the mountain. Red Rock Canyon is another great place that a lot of people like to bike and hike. Mountain biking, road biking, and running trails, and just hiking. It is a beautiful area. Mount Charleston is my favorite place, but Red Rock is a close second. Lake Mead. So if you're more of a lake person, we do have a nice sized lake for you that's all man-made and is right over a city that we flooded years and years and years ago. So if you want to do jet skiing, water skiing, or just take a nice cold dip in the lake, that's the place to be for you. Boating. There's also some fishing. I know some people do like to go fishing out there. I'm more of a mountain girl, so I spend most of my time that way, but I do venture out to Lake Mead every now and then too. There's some great hot springs out in that area as well. There's a plethora of outdoor activities for you to experience if you live in the Las Vegas area. And let's talk about the Strip. We've talked about all the things that you can do off the Strip. Now let's talk about the Strip, which is why many people know about Las Vegas, as they know it's the Las Vegas Strip. Now, one of the biggest myths is that we all live in the hotel and that Strip that you see is Las Vegas. Las Vegas is so much more than that, which we have discussed, but this is what put us on the map, and we have to pay homage to what brought us here. Las Vegas has some of the best dining and entertainment anywhere in the world. I would say it's probably one of the top 5 cities for restaurants, in my opinion, with New York, San Francisco, Paris, I'm sure, being above. But Las Vegas is getting up there. A lot of famous chefs over the years have been making their way out to Las Vegas, from Emeril Lagasse, Giada, Gordon Ramsay, Guy Fieri, you name it. They're all coming here, opening up a restaurant and putting out amazing food. And then you have entertainment. You have Cirque du Soleil in almost every single hotel. Just about every weekend, you're going to find any type of musician playing somewhere on the Strip. You've got big names such as Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Garth Brooks, all have come to Vegas. Some are actually doing residencies here, such as Adele, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan. So you have several different ways to entertain yourself. They have dinner shows, your normal Vegas shows, comedy shows, so just about anything on the Strip. And of course, you have gambling just about anywhere here in town, especially on the Strip. And of course, for you youngins who are still wanting to that club scene, just about every Vegas has some famous nightclub that is jam-packed on the weekends. The cost of living in Las Vegas is about 3% higher than the national average, and that includes your food, housing, transportation. Now, when you compare to major cities such as San Francisco, we're about 80% cheaper. DC, we're about 40% cheaper. Miami and Chicago were roughly about 12 to 9% cheaper. New York City, 74% cheaper. Dallas, Texas, we're pretty close to even, but we're about 4% cheaper. And if you're coming from the Boston area, we're about 50% cheaper than what you are going to see there. Now, our public transportation is probably not the best. We do have our RTC buses that you will see around town, and that's about it. You have taxis, which are high priced and normally stay around the Strip and downtown area and the airport, because mostly the tourists are going to be using that, as well as Uber and Lyft. And those are a little bit pricier. because we are such a high tourist destination, those prices are inflated a little bit as well. So if you are going to be moving to the Vegas area, I would say that you would definitely want to own a car, because in the long run, that's going to be cheaper for you. I hope I answered all of your questions here about Las Vegas. And if you have any more questions and that you felt I left out, please drop them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them for you. Again, this is Christina with Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas, and I'll talk to you guys next week.